sitting one day, and as the universe provides when we allow, in a silent state, I was thinking about what words vibrate with me. I said, wow, first of all, I need to break away from what I was just doing. It's a break, a clean break. I've got to separate that business. And then how do I do that? It's not easy. It's difficult. We must stop and take a deep breath to catch ourselves, to bring us back to our center, disconnect, or break away from whether it's the family going to business. We must take that deep breath. Then think, what will we do to fully engage and bond into the next meeting or family outing or what have you that we're going to engage? We must separate. I've created the transition tool, which allows you to break, breathe, and bond right here. Made of fine sterling silver jewelry, yes, both large and small size, more of a woman's size and a men's size. They're available for children if you want to manage your child a little bit better or teenager. You put the words on there that matter, because words matter. We sculpt our thoughts. These are my 3 B's. Break, breathe, and bond. Keep your energy high. Transition. Make your day a piece of artwork. Sculpt your words. Sculpt your time. Sculpt your life.
Hey, good morning, everybody. From Thailand, it's morning. Good morning in Australia, New Zealand, and soon coming to South Africa and the rest of Asia. I've got one action I need to take. Just stick with me. And good evening in the Western world. My name is Peter Stone, and I am here doing a show called Stepping Up and Stepping Out, making 2021 your best year yet. And how is that? And why am I here today? Well, first of all, we did have this scheduled every week on a Wednesday. And I wanted it to be more meaningful. I wanted to make or help people. No way I can make you do anything. You got to get that action yourself. I'm here to kind of tap you on the shoulder, push you, give you some ideas, or even propel you forward with your own energy, with your own fuel, so that you generate your own power. And really, ultimately, at the end of the day, you don't need me anymore, or you don't need anyone else. I mean, you do. We always need each other to remind us. Oh, yeah, I wanted to change that. And I'm back to the old habit. So today's episode is on replace, renew, recharge, and ultimately celebrate and rejoice. So today is the new moon, a lack of light in the sky. And the new moon, for some cultures and groups of people, there are people that are very wise, will start new planning and making changes and new directions, new ideas, implementing the things they want to change, or one thing, depending on your focus, depending on what it is you want to do. So the new moon energetically is an optimum time. We know the moons are the moon is very powerful, right? It pulls the tides. I mean, Look at the Bay of Fundy, like a rushing tide of 24 to 28 feet in that one spot, right? Close to the north, magnetic north. Why it happens there, I don't know, but it's very intense. And the moon is what causes the tides to rise and probably the currents to move. It's a huge life force. It's hidden for us, but it's right in front of our face. And we can't negate the fact that the tides go up and down. And the farther north you go on the planet, the higher they go. The closer you get to the magnetic poles, the higher the tides are. In the middle of the planet, the tides are lower. They're less. They're not as extreme. So that is one reason I chose the new moon. The moon phases every 7 days, 28 days plus every month. But the reason I actually stepped back, I backed into the new moon. So I was using the new year ultimately is why I started this program. So we all have goals, dreams, changes, desires that we're changing in this new year. Well, more than half of us, let's just put it that way, have some things that we want to change. Our New Year's resolutions. I'm changing this. I'm not doing this anymore. I'm doing a new life. I am replacing those old habits or just getting rid of them. But ideally, it's better to replace that gap or that thing or that action or that habit with a new one, a leveled up one that takes you up. And one of the best ways I know how is small steps. You can do it in small steps. There's another way, like the express lane. And you can go for big change. You say, boom, that's it. I'm changing. Well, I did that with my diet because I've been very conscious. I mean, this is after like years of really sculpting my diet and working on making changes. But I did this one thing because I'd already have habits of paying attention to what I'm doing. But this was like a big change. Someone told me I could do something this way, like eat a lot of meat, eat a lot of dairy, eat a lot of butter and yogurt and all this stuff, as long as it was natural, organic, grass-fed from the fields, it was okay. But quite frankly, it didn't work out. I started getting puffed. I love those things, and I just stopped eating it for like 20 years. I ate yogurt every now and then and cheese every now and then. Be hard pressed to find cheese in my refrigerator, maybe a little piece. Cheese omelet or something every now and then, or cheese and crackers as a treat. But I stocked up on it all. Beautiful yogurt with a cream on the top, just delicious, crazy. And then I watched a 30-minute movie, a 60-minute movie, clip, a video, a documentary. And that documentary just turned me around and said, okay, wow, a dairy farmer quit all the dairy, all the meat, and this guy's like in almost 90, riding his bike, out speaking, training, teaching people about not eating dairy and stuff. So that's just me. And the reason I tell you that story is because I made a huge change, but I'd already set the platform for many years to replace and renew and recharge. And I did that with eating my Vitamix. I just jammed in the kale and the spinach and greens, beet greens, anything that was green. I put it in there, but I study the food content, the value, and look for the high value foods to replace it with. And then I had two mixing bowls, extreme mixing bowls. I'm like, after a month of two mixing, I'm like, why am I eating so much? But I was cleansing and flushing, and I had some health issue because of all the dairy. that I was trying to change for 8 years. And I didn't realize that that was like a thing that hung it up until I made this dramatic change. So that was like the express lane, but I had done little steps in certain areas for a long time. But I also did extreme, and extreme didn't always work because we're not ready. It's better to like slowly change our habits. It's an easier thing. Like when we go to the gym and when we are exercising, yeah, if you start out with 5 minutes, if you haven't exercised for 5 years or 5 months or 5 weeks, it's easier to start with I'm just using a simple example. 5 minutes, maybe it is 15 minutes. And the next day you go 20 minutes. And the next day is 25. But back to the reason of the full moon and the new moon and how it relates to your New Year's resolutions is this. Most people, whether it's diet, fitness, energy, mindset, wealth, health, all of it that we want to change, 1 or 2 things, or 5, or 10, or all of it, right? We want a whole new life. And we write it all down and we plan it like on December 31st. It's all there, or we've been planning for a week and I'm doing this. And 3 weeks later, another year comes upon us. And we look back and we go, I got my list. And I didn't do one thing on that list successfully. Or maybe I did one thing out of 10. Well, 10%, if you're in school, 10% is unacceptable, right? So you're giving grades for a teacher, right? But ultimately for you. So if you're grading 10% or 20% for yourself in life, I mean, that's you, and you know about you, and you got to carry that, forget everybody else. Be true to thine own self, right? I mean, you got that mind talk, all the head talk, what people think here and this and that and all this external crap. I mean, it's real. We feel it. We think it, but we just need to go inside and ask ourselves questions am I being true to myself? Is it 10%? Is that failing? What do I need to change to serve myself? Then serve others around me better because they see what I did. They just see what I did. I don't have to go tell anybody, but they see I lost 32 pounds. And you can talk all you want if that's what you need to do and tell people I'm doing this no matter what, and that helps you stand by your commitment because your friend won't let you fail. That's another way. So why do people, they go back into their old habits, create a new habit, 3 weeks? Well, get back into the old habit, 3 weeks. You're back, you failed, it's over, it's done. And you only fail if you quit. If you quit before you go on to the next life, okay? That's the only time you fail. So you do it again, but you do it better, and you use simple tools that are right in front of us. So I was thinking in December of 2016, I'm like, man, I'm going to do this show and I'm going to talk about stepping out, making 2017 my best year yet. It was a pretty darn good year. How am I going to stay on track? Doing the show was the way for me, but how am I going to help others to stay on the track? Because you're not always going to turn on that TV whenever that show is and look for the directory because it was a local TV show. And I looked up, boom, there's the full moon in the sky. And we just had a full moon 2 weeks ago, right? And everywhere just talking about this beautiful full moon. So not only, I mean, if it's cloudy in your area and you don't see it one night, you'll probably see it another night, but maybe it didn't go out. But the matter of the fact is, if you're online, you are going to see all kinds of posts of the beautiful images of the full moon. There's no getting away unless they throw you off Facebook. There's no getting away. Okay? So use the gifts that are right in front of us. Oh, I can't remember this. I can't remember. Well, okay, the full moon is there every 28 days. So if a cycle is 21 days and from one full moon to the next is 21 days, well, the habit could be broke. So that's why we are here on the new moon. I'm not letting you go. If you are committed and you want to hang in there, you want a little punch and a little tough love, I'm here for you. Okay? I try to be nice, try to smile all the time, but I'll tell you what, sometime we got to get tough. And I did one video, I got hammers out, and I'm like saying, do you need the little hammer or do you need the big hammer? The big house building hammer or the little jeweler's hammer? Some people just need a little kick in the butt, and some people need a bowl in their ass, okay, to get moving, to get the life that you really want, to make that change that you really want. So that is why I am here and why I will be here every new moon, every full moon. And if you want to know the schedule, it's the new moon, the full moon. And that's it. And you can come to our peterstonelive.com website, or we'll have a little post, a little box, a little info box on our Peter Stone Jewelry of events. And on our social media pages, we still have some on Facebook. We have it on MeWe. We have it on Magabook. We have it on Gab. We have it on Rumble. We have across the board, so that whatever we want to write, it doesn't get taken down, okay? I mean, we want to be able to tell it like it is. And if I can't talk freely, then I'll see you later. So we got to have freedom in our life, all right? And that's what my life has been based on, is freedom. So I shall continue on the pathway, and I'm here to help you to have a freer, better life. Why? How? Let's talk about it right now. I don't have any PowerPoints for you. I'm just going to give you the three things to do, okay? And that in 3 areas. So that little video at the beginning of this that you didn't see if you were on Instagram was and by the way, if you're on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button down there. Subscribe, ding, have a better life. 1 change can make your life better. 2, 10, or 20 can make it amazing. So I keep changing and my life just gets better. I keep working to improve. What's the next level? How can I make things a little brighter, sunnier, shinier, happier, more energetic, more joyful? I keep working on it because there's no giving up. I really care what's going on in the world. Like, I really care. And it can get a little disappointing, but as I mentioned, I was talking to someone at FedEx. I had a long conversation. I think she's from Georgia. And I'm like, I see all these people talking about how we're getting locked in and we're losing freedom. And I like, there's one point that we have to take action. It's just like replace, renew, and recharge. We must take action. Stop talking about it. Stop talking. We know the problem. We know the problem for years, right? And People just talk. Oh, we just talk about it forever and don't do anything. In action. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, they ought to blow up Congress. But that's it. That's a whole nother story. Let's stay on track here. And we must, to make the change, we must focus on the solution. Once we know, hey, I want to change my weight. Great. Let's stop talking about the weight, looking down. Let's start acting. How are we going to do it? What are we going to do? Well, I really like pen, paper. I love graph paper. So I picked, let me get this right. New, uplifting, the first column. Positively charged, okay? Old, things you're going to replace. Disempowering, that pulls you down. So I just picked 3 things, foods. So if you eat crappy food, you're not going to be able to think right. So I consciously chose food first. Because some foods, like a lot of sugar, you can't think, you get hyper, some people I know got really angry, actually, and scream. Out of control. Sugar is a major drug, a legal one, a major drug. That the effects, like you can see a little kid. And I worked really hard for my daughter not to get candy when she was a little kid going to her preschool. And they loved her because she was so calm and centered, and all the rest of the kids screaming, yelling, were making noise. Why? Sugar. And so this is the funniest thing. It's not funny, but it was I'm going to this place where they're trying to help kids. They don't even get it. And they got a bowl of candy when they leave. So here, kids, here's 3 lollipops or 3 suckers of pure sugar. So eat these in the car. So by the time you get home, you're going to drive your parents nuts. Then they're going to say, something's wrong with my kid. I got to go get rid of it. I got to put him on drugs. It's sick. Okay. So I'm like, don't you have apples? Don't you have something healthy for a little kid? Candy go in the bank? I'm like, no. My daughter knew she couldn't get that in the bank. Every now and then I give her organic candy that has balanced sugar in it. So back to the foods. But that's an example. So what about the chemicals in foods? Oh my God. I know I really did a shift. So when I got back to Thailand here 6 months ago, I had been gone for almost 10 months. And I miss Thailand. They got a lot of good food, but some of the foods got some chemicals in it. And it's got some preservatives and sometimes spray to keep it from the bugs, right? Bug spray, pesticides. So anyway, I was eating some, and then I was eating a little bit of snacks, going to the bakery. Those fresh things in the marketplace, fresh made. So I celebrated for a few months, actually. And I enjoyed, and that's part of what life is about. You got to enjoy, but you got to be able to get back on track. Do the 90-10, the 80-20. Spend most of your time eating the really healthy foods and discovering them. Spend time discovering them, not sitting back on the sofa watching some sitcom or on the computer. Suck down. If you're going to be on the computer, playing games, go find foods that empower you. I just found 3 foods, amazing foods. Mung beans, almost perfectly balanced, equal carbs to protein, high protein. Then purple rice, organic purple rice berries. Both of those are superfoods. I'm eating them, and I didn't know, because now with this CV thing, I'm like, how am I going to make sure my immune system is good? So, as luck would have it, I was having mung beans with some bananas and black sesame and a little bit of oats and some fresh coconut water and ginger water, mixed ginger slices of ginger, all mixed in this with a dash of honey for breakfast. And that, because I knew all those things were good, but I did not know how good mung beans. So when I decided I was going to cut down on my nutritional supplements and look for the vitamins and the minerals, the zinc and the vitamin C and the B and the vitamin D, you just have to go out in the sun because that's the best source of vitamin D out of everything. And the other is organ meats. It's super high. So I'm not a fan of that. And I'll go for the sunshine any day. There's plenty of it in Thailand. I can always get an hour a day or 20 minutes. And we only need 10 of intense sun, but 20 is a recommended. So I looked online at mung beans and I'm like, zinc, minerals, vitamins, rice berries, really healthy and gluten-free. I'm like, I just stopped eating rice because it's just loaded with gluten and it's not that healthy for you. White rice for the royals. No, I'll take the purple rice for the lower vibes, whatever they want to say, but it's so healthy. Then I'm in the market looking for something to add to the green juice. So the market is a little short on fresh kale and the Western foods. So there's a lot of spinach, and there was what we call pak chi. It is it's usually put in salad. It's like parsley, but it's not. And then amaranth green. So they stuffed the bag with amaranth like 3 times as much vegetables in this bag. And for less money, I'm like, what are you kidding me? It's an organic. And I bought like 6 of them. And then celery, last time out of the marketplace, I got these big, giant packs of fresh organic celery to put in the juice. And I looked up amaranth as a superfood. I'm telling you what I did, and you can do the same thing. Check out the foods, replace them, because those mung beans can be savory or sweet. You can cook them any way. Like my wife, she made some Indian food yesterday. She loves the Indian food. We used to have a guy working with us, and his wife and him invited us for dinner all the time. My wife is a chef, a cook, and she just loves to cook, and she loves Indian food. And so she learned that, and she says, "Oh, tell Pinky and Sunil, thank you for teaching her how to cook this Indian food." So lunch. I said, put mung beans in everything I eat. Put them in my salad. Put it in everything. So charged up. You get charged up, flushed out, charged up, flushed out, charged up, renewed, and recharged. So that's foods. So pay attention to foods. Pay attention to how you feel after you eat. What if you feel really good, energized? Like, wow, I better put that on my list of things to buy. Hey, I didn't do this before. I got to do it again or my team gets upset at me. They said, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Facebook, MeWe, Gab, Megabook, every other place that you want to. Now that you got your mind under control through the foods you eat, chemical-less, if you know your happy drugs in your mind, dopamine, and there's a few others, right? Help you sleep, help you focus, natural amino acids, and our drugs, our system is powerful. When we cheat our system by not fueling it properly, okay, Most people really make sure their car is buffed, clean, polished. They get a good car, beautiful car. Look at my car. Look at my house. Look at how beautiful. Look, it's all painted. It's really clean. The lawn is perfect. Everything is just so beautiful. But look at me. Look at me. I'm 30 pounds overweight. I have lacking energy. But look at my house. Look at my yard. I put so much money in it and I took such great care of it. Are you impressed? Isn't it nice? But me, I can't walk but maybe once a week. Or I don't have the drive or the. So where do you put your resources? Right? And I know a lot of women, they put a lot of makeup and stuff. And maybe some men these days. But anyway, you do what you do. That's cool. But inside, they haven't fueled inside properly. But really, like hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, the nails, the face, the makeup, the eyebrows, I think like $60, $70, $100, the nails, everything. And then they feel like crap, and their brain is like constantly going with anxiety. They don't know why. Well, get the fuel in order, and maybe the phone. If you're on the phone too much with that energy, the blue light before bed, you got to shut it down an hour before you go to bed. That's an added thing that I never put on this list, but it just came. This is the way of the muse. I get the messages, and we don't want to forget about that. We're bombarded. And now 5G. I won't let it come to my phone. I don't need it. You need to be that fast in your life? Really? Well, go out and run that fast. Like 3 times a day. Do a 100-yard sprint. Do a 200-yard sprint. Do a 20-foot sprint. Whatever it takes. Now, get the thoughts. And so how important the lighting that you get, those lights from China that are totally, I'm a gemologist. I have what is called a spectrometer. It measures the color bands in the light. Whatever I look at, it shows me what color, part of the color spectrum is missing. And I'll tell you what I used to do when I was going to a lot of inside gem and jewelry shows and trade shows and gift fairs all around the world, especially the ones in the United States. They had these mercury vapor lights, these mercury lamps that were so bright, like 500 watts, all overhead. And at the end of almost every day, my gut, like, I can feel it today because it was so bad. I felt awful by the end of the day. I didn't understand, run down. I'm sitting around at the show. I got a box of chips, and I'm offering the chips to my guests coming to the buyers. Yes, here, would you like some spinach chips? I stayed in an Airbnb in Massachusetts for 2.5 months, and I talk my walk. I walk my talk. Every morning I'm up and I'm eating from a pound of spinach box, organic, and eating the apple and riding the bike. And this guy goes, he helped put the first rocket on the moon, actually. He landed the first landing on the moon. And he's a scientist. He's like a brilliant people, MIT stuff. And just drinking gallons of milk, and one eye is not quite feeling well, and can't keep his balance. He went out for a bike ride, fell and hurt himself. I feel sorry for the guy, but it takes time. Be careful. Be careful. He goes, man. He says, he's like looking at me, like assessing me, measuring me up, and he goes, like, and I'm sharing this straight on. He says, you really. To me, you walk your talk. You don't just talk this stuff. And like a lot of people talk, but they don't walk. And that's why you want to subscribe. I am imperfectly me. That's the way it is. And you should be imperfectly you. And just on the journey of replace, renew, recharge. So words matter. And so I made a note this morning while I was sitting looking through the palm fronds out at the water fountain, being grateful, thinking about this morning and the sun rising up through my room, my office room. And there's a tree that is so big, flowers everywhere, orchids all over, beautiful flowers on trees, on bushes, on huge trees, 60-foot trees loaded with flowers. They're everywhere, fragrant, the birds singing. And I'm thinking, how grateful. In a gated community. That water fountain comes on every morning at 6 a.m. and shuts off at 8. Comes on every afternoon at 4 o'clock and shuts off at 6. So I put in my phone, meditate, 3:45 p.m. with the water again. Every day, 2 times a day. So take time. How do you get your thoughts in order? You need quiet time. You got to stop. Just stop. Stop. Period. I don't have a big red stop sign, but maybe they'll put one on the screen for you. Stop, break, breathe, bond. Bond with powers much greater than yourself, and you will have a better day. And then, as the little video said, you break away from what it is that's just so busy, or it's just that's what you were focused on. Now, take a breath. Get centered. Get present. Where am I in my day? Am I working on my list to renew? What have I done today? What one thing can I do today? What 3 things can I do today? What 5 things can I do today to level it up? Everybody's different. Some people need 1, some people need 3. I need 23. But I've toned it back. I got a little better on my focus. Focus is my big deal. I would say, some people say, what is that, ADD? I mean, who cares? But that's just my creativity out of control. Creativity is fun when you capture it and put it into place, and you capture it and tame it and train it and use it, then you get some more horsepower behind you. So your thoughts is a great place to do that. Take a piece of paper, write down your thoughts. So your foods, you make this list, and in your foods, what foods positive? Apple, positive, clean apple, no chemicals, clean fruit, clean berries. You can wash them. They have spray, but just go get a gallon of vinegar, put it in a dish, put some water in there, let it soak for, people say like 5 minutes. I always do stuff 15 or 20. I ought to be sure. And that's me if I didn't get organic. Then what is the food look, you maybe don't want to acknowledge, but the foods that you shouldn't be eating. And if you're not sure, and you just make a list, or you look at what you eat from the time you get up to the time you go to bed in a day, then Google the food value. Could be a wake-up call. There's a 7-Eleven here. There's all these cool snacks and stuff. And I pick up one. I'm looking for something, just a little sweet touch, but natural, Thai, pandan, green leaf, healthy stuff, a little creamy stuff in there with the coffee, right? Every now and then. And I look at it and I just have to put it back. Why? N21, N369, and color, flavor. I like this little thing, this little tiny thing that doesn't cost 20 cents. And that's why it doesn't, because it's loaded. I mean, it's just chewy. It's this perfect food. But these emulsifiers, I mean, it's just like, no. That is training the mind. Put yourself in a situation, something you really want to have, and practice. Put yourself in a noisy situation. And don't complain. That's easy. Oh, it's so noisy, blah, blah, blah. No. Make it an opportunity. So, like when I was first trying to get my head together after partying for 12 years, I did the 12-step program, right? And they're saying, excuse me, patience, tolerance, and acceptance. You got to practice those three things, Peter. Patience, tolerance, and acceptance. As I drive down the highway in Thailand, motorcycles coming at me on the left, on the right, like I'm in the passing lane and there's a wall that twice last night. Now there's less traffic and these crazy motorcycle drivers drive faster than ever because there's holes, big openings, so they drive really fast. I mean, I'm doing like 50. This guy's doing 75 on his motorcycle. Boom. And there is this much room. I mean, that much between me and the motorcycle and that much between him and the wall. And if I pulled over, I had to avoid somebody. I'm thinking, oh my, that's just last night. I'm like, what a mess, right? So busy, crazy, and acceptance. And my wife reminds me every now and then. I have to remind myself it's a cultural thing. People just driving on the wrong side of the road. Sometimes a whole car coming at you. I mean, it's just the way it is. So I have a choice. You get out of the kitchen or you accept the culture. But now that's not really I mean, these are a few wild people. They're everywhere in the world. It doesn't matter. So it raises my awareness and it gives me a chance to practice my acceptance, my tolerance, patience. Another place for patience is in the post office, in the line. If you're in a line, if you're in a grocery line, instead of, like, I got to get through express, right? Or, getting a little frustrated. Some people, no, take the time. Break, breathe, bond. Get your thoughts in order. Pull your little 3x5 card out. Pull your 3x5 card out and pull your list out, not your phone. Put your phone down. Reach into your purse, reach into your pocket, fold up a 3x5 card, put it in your pocket. Paper, you can touch it. Oh, resources. Sorry, recycled, okay? That's a whole nother subject. We're green, but paper is priceless as long as you use it responsibly. Okay? Don't use toilet paper. Use it by debt. Get a flusher like they do in Thailand and wash yourself spotless clean. Don't spread it around. Sheesh. So save your resources. Don't buy toilet paper, America, Western world. Hello. Okay. Use a little water. Oh, but now you're using the water. Anyway, let's get out of that. Okay. Thoughts. Break, breathe, bond. Get into your thoughts. What thoughts are disempowering you? Old thoughts, then just slash it out. Or you can make a whole list of all the things that you're not going to do anymore and burn them. I did that with a bunch of trees that fell in my yard. I cleaned it up in a big yard. Not everybody can do that. And you can go to the beach, you can go wherever you want. But put your opposing the upside thoughts on the right side, the ones you're going to replace and renew. Then people, right? People in your life. You have friends and people, the associates. Or when you walk away from your friend and your associate, are you feeling better when you're done with the conversation with them? Are you feel uplifted or neutral? Or you're like, oh my God, like, oh my life. They didn't uplift you in any way. They're not a positive experience in your life. Then maybe next time you just have to be busy and you don't have time and move on. I'll give you a call next week. Whoops, I was busy next month. And time passes. And your people list gets adjusted. Okay? Places. I didn't put places on here. So I'm more productive in some places than others. The energy's different, right? With the way you sit. I'm even looking at my bed. Do I want to shift it around? Something says, yeah, I'm facing east, my head. And there are schools of thought that says your head should face north. North and south, magnetic, right? The same direction as the magnetism. I mean, it's endless, the things, the discoveries we can make. And it's a lot of fun, actually. For me, I'm a discoverer. I'm an adventurer. I mean, if you just like to play games on the phone or just watch somebody else's life on TV or on the computer or something, then I guess that's what you want to do. But is that really what you want to do? Turn off the light at 11 or 12, maybe 1 in the morning, and go do it again. Rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. Is it a good life for you? I'm asking because some of you have great lives, but some, you want to step it up and you want to step out and you want to make 2021 your best year yet. Don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you on the full moon. This is Peter Stone checking in and raising it up a notch. A little or a lot. The choice is yours. The choice is mine. We'll have, before you go to bed, don't forget, get a little piece of paper, a little pad. Like this came from a pad, right? And a 3x5 card. Get a big pad. It doesn't matter. Keep a pen and a piece of paper next to your bed, not your phone. Pen, piece of paper. Just write down 5 things and give yourself some credit before you go to bed. 5 things. 3 things. 3 things that were good in your day today. What worked? What did you do that was a little better than yesterday? Did you help someone crack a smile? Did you eat a little different food, a little better food? Did you exercise a little more? Did you help somebody? Did you give somebody something they needed? Did you let somebody cut in front of you that was like at the airport and you really needed to go fast, go someplace, or you knew they were going to have a baby or something? Who knows? Right? Surely you did 5 things good. It doesn't matter how big they are. You shared a potato chip with someone, and tomorrow you're going to share a piece of spinach with somebody. I don't know. Choice is yours. I'll see you later. Peter Stone, step it up, step it out, and making 2021 your best year yet. I'll see you on the full moon.